This man is a professional killer. So once he gets a contract to kill the Prime Minister of France, to complete this mission, this man starts his training. First of all, he ties his sniper rifle to a tree with the help of a rope and hangs from a tree 250 meters away. Yeah, no big deal, right? He aims at a watermelon, but his target is 2 centimeters away. Oops. So the killer uses a screwdriver to aim his rifle. Because why not? After correcting it a little, as soon as he aims again at the center of the face made on the watermelon. Boom! His target goes exactly in the center. Nice! It seems that after this, he takes out one of his special bullets and carefully loads it into the rifle. And as soon as he shoots at the watermelon, whoosh, it shoots in one go. The watermelon is blown to pieces. Bye-bye, melon. Now the killer reaches France to carry out his dangerous mission. Upon reaching there, the killer sets up a hotel to kill the president. Wait, a hotel? Okay then. He chooses the roof because he finds it the safest place. Sure, the roof. Very safe. After this, he buys many things from the market and changes his appearance. He completely changes himself and waits for the day when he will kill the president. Let's find out whether this killer will really be able to kill the president of France or not. Otherwise, the story begins in France in the year 1962. The country was going through an economic recession, and there was a lot of tension among the people all over the country. There was an atmosphere of uneasiness. Ooh, creepy, right? During this time, French President Charles had also liberated a country named Algeria, due to which his countrymen were enraged against him. But the paramilitary troops were the most hurt by this, because, according to them, when there was a war with Algeria, many of their comrades and friends were killed. But today, the president freed them. Ouch! So, some members of the paramilitary troops came together and formed an organization called OAS, whose purpose was to assassinate the president. Yeah, you heard that right. To take over France and rule it by killing it. Meanwhile, we see a man named Jean Murailles, who, wait for it, he was most upset by this. So he and his associate began planning to kill the president. Friendly reminder, don't try this at home. During the planning, Jean kept an eye on the president's house. He finds out when the president will leave his house, and finally, the day comes when the president will leave his house. He leaves for the airport to catch a flight with a convoy. On the way, Jean signals his men with automatic guns. With the help of the army, he starts firing indiscriminately at the president. A total of more than 140 shots are fired, but luckily, none of them hit. Seriously? 140 shots, and nothing? That's not luck. That's a comedy of errors. No bullet hit him, and nothing happened to the president or any of his companions sitting in the car. But after this, the French administration was very upset, and now every political person wanted to catch the culprits. It took 6 months for the police and intelligence together, but finally, Jean Murailles and his companions are arrested by the police. The next morning, Jean's plea for clemency is rejected by the court, so the police shoot him dead. Wow, that escalated quickly. From here the scene changes, and we are shown Colonel Mark, Manager Casson of the OS, and Treasureman Claire, all three from Austria. Fancy, right? Everyone is very worried, because despite all their planning, they remain unsuccessful. Ooh, pressure's on. These three could not go back to their country even if they wanted to, because as soon as they set foot in their country, they would be arrested as soon as they were identified. Yikes! Colonel, Rowlett understood that even if he wanted to, he could not kill the president himself, nor any of his countrymen, because the authorities had information about each person available. So, according to Rowlett, he wanted to hire a foreigner for this work. He would spend 3 months on it. After a long search, Roll finally finds a man with the best record in the world of hitmen, no failures. Like, 0. Impressive and terrifying. Till date, Roll summons this man named Jackal to Vienna. Jackal is his code name, which he uses during missions. Very mysterious. After coming to Vienna, he used to meet all the 3 heads of OS. Jackal was very expert in his work. All the work was done with great detail. the perfectionist, with bullets. He used to work with them. So he first tells all three of them, I have read your file. I know everything. Jackal demands $5 lakh to do this work. He keeps it because whoever does this work will never be able to do any other work. Wait, what does that mean? Anyway, 3 people of OS for $5 lakh. He agrees and leaves, asking Roland to keep the matter secret. Jackal prepares for his mission to learn about his enemy. He starts studying every little detail to get the information. Soon, he gets 2 fake passports made and leaves for Paris. Ooh, sneaky. Upon reaching Paris, Jackal becomes a most... First, the president finds out about Charles. Wait, that came out weird. Anyway, after knowing everything, he goes and searches for a place from where the president can be killed. But luckily, he finds such a place because the president was going to give his speech here in a short while. Perfect timing. For him, not the president. After finalizing the place, Jackal goes to 2 Belgian cities. He calls people who are very skilled in their work. First, he goes and meets a gunsmith and tells him some of his specific requirements and spends 2 weeks with him. Just 2 guys and a gun. No big deal. He asks him to deliver the gun, and the other guy will take care of all the French paperwork for him. Teamwork makes a dream work, a very scary dream. In this way, Jackal gets his preparations in full swing. And soon, we see a girl named Denny who was brought here by the OS people to meet the minister. St. Clair was sent to trap. His job was to gather all the necessary information and pass it on to the OS people. It was to be delivered so that they could remain informed about every move of the government. In no time, 2 weeks pass by, and Jackal gets a gun made according to his requirement. This gun was in the form of pieces. That is, by looking at any one piece, no one could tell that this is a gun. Clever and terrifying. After assembling the gun, Jackal does its test firing, and he is very happy with the result, because this gun was much better than he had expected. Meanwhile, theft started happening in the city of Paris in broad daylight. In fact, this work was done by the paramilitary people. Because why not add more chaos? They were getting this done to fulfill the demand of $5 lakh demanded by Jackal, as none of them had that much money. Yeah, broke criminals. Not a great look. This was not the case, so the OS men planned to rob the bank, and rob the bank's van full of money in the market. But, before they could escape, the police arrived and started firing from both sides. But somehow, they managed to kill the remaining members of the OS. Wait, what? The men managed to escape, but one of their companions is caught by the police, and the news has now reached the French authorities. And everyone was very angry with the thefts happening in the country. The French intelligence team tortured the person caught during the theft. Yikes, that's dark. After this torture, the man even revealed Roll's name, which further increased their suspicion. It was found that Roll and his group were planning something big, something which could pose a threat to us. The French intelligence team, Roll, and she starts searching for his companions. And within a short time, she gets a breakthrough where she finds the whereabouts of Roland and his people. But on reaching there, it was very difficult to get there because the building was guarded all around by Roll's guards, who were very difficult to get through. It was almost impossible because neither Roll himself nor any of his companions ever left that place. And now, after a few days of investigation, they discover that Volsky was the one who exchanged messages for Roll with the help of Roland. The net is closing in. He used to pass messages from one place to another. One day, when he got a chance, he was going to pass Valence's message. Then the intelligence of men come from behind and attack him on the head and bring him straight to France. Ouch! In France, Volsky is tortured a lot, so that he may tell something about Roland and his companions. But even after talking for a long time, he does not tell anything. Hence, his torture is increased a little more. Yikes! Valinsky goes and tells him that there's a man whom Roll has hired to kill the president. But this is a matter of luck for the paramilitary. He was of the opinion that he did not know much. Meanwhile, the intelligence team had understood that a hitman had been called from outside to kill the president. On asking his name, Volsky tells him that he has no name, but everyone calls him Jackal. Dun dun dun. The entire department starts searching for Jackal. Hey! The interior minister comes to meet the president. But keeping in mind the security of President Charles, no one, not even the ministers, is allowed to meet him, and efforts are made to ensure that the president stays at his residence as much as possible. But when the president comes to know about this, he clearly refuses it. He gives his consent and says, "I am not a coward that I will sit quietly under someone's threat. Whoa, respect." Saying this, the president continues his rally. Then once again, the interior minister calls a meeting in which all the ministers and police officers participate, along with the commissioner. The minister tells everyone that we need this victory. The man named has to be caught at any cost, because he could become a huge threat to us. The minister asked the commissioner about the lead in the case, but no one knew who Jackal was, so it was becoming very difficult to catch him. The commissioner gives an idea to the minister and says there is a man who can do this work and can find out the identity of Jackal. So for this work, a retired police officer named Label is called, who is an expert in such investigations. Finally, some hope. While handing over the case to Minister Labelle, he says, "You have to find Jackal at any cost, and you can do whatever you want for this. You can do everything. You have permission for everything. No one will interfere in your work in any way." The label gets busy with its work and includes some of its old people in its team. He recruits his companions because he trusted ONLY them. Meanwhile, on the other hand, we see Denny, who now lives with the minister. When he goes out in the evenings, when he returns home from his job, Danny begins to seduce him and gradually extracts all the information from him. She succeeds. Upon learning the information, Denny calls and passes on all the information to a man named William of OS. Smooth and scary, so that there is no problem in the future work. Here, a police officer named Thomas was also after Jackal. Thomas went. He meets a minister and starts gathering information about Jackal. This shows how much panic Jackal has created in the entire country. One man, everyone scared. The policeman seems to be a speculative person, and many people suspected that this person was a Britisher. Maybe that's why they call the British police and ask about a person named Jackal. But hey, they are disappointed. Nothing. When nothing else seems to be there, the entire department tries to decode the name Jackal and finds out that Jackal is also a French person. Wait, what? Meanwhile, Labelle begins checking the passports of all the people who have come to the city, and then he discovers a man named Paul. But the person whose identity Jackal was using at that time had died at the age of 2. Hence, the entire department was under control of a man named, wait for it, Jackal, who was still busy with his planning. He meets the Belgian man who is helping him with his paperwork. He was about to do it, but now greed had come in the mind of this person. Oh, hence, Jackal is forced to kill that person. Yikes! Jackal's secret. Roland had come to know that the matter had been exposed. So he called Jackal and explained it to him and asked him to abort the mission. But Jackal refuses, saying, "Once I take up a mission, I will complete it." That's dedication, terrifying dedication. Jackal goes to a hotel. He stops in, where he begins to seduce a girl named Barney. Because he checked in under Paul's name, he is immediately reported to the police. In the morning, the police raided the hotel, surrounded the entire hotel from all sides, and checked Jackal's room. But they found nothing. Nothing is found. Actually, this happened because Jackal spent his entire night with the girl whom he was seducing, and he left from there in the morning. Smooth criminal. Soon the police also come to know about this, so they also go straight and start questioning Baroni. But the girl does not tell them anything. That is why we get to know Jackal. He is shown trying to escape with his car, but unfortunately, he meets with an accident, and he knew that the police would be arriving soon. So he returns to the same girl's house, where they spend time together and talk. Baroni tells Jackal that she is leaving. Wait, what? After that, the police came here and were questioning about him, but I did not tell them anything. And now, Barrows is the only one here. There was a man who had seen him, so Jackal was forced to kill him. Yikes again. As soon as morning came, he changed his appearance and looked exactly like that man. Creepy. As he keeps the passport of the person he stole from the airport, Jackal catches a train and leaves for Paris, where he will kill the president. The clock is ticking. Baroni's servants come to see him and realize that Baroni is dead. They soon inform Label that Baroni has been killed, leaving Label also perplexed. He goes and tells them to search the whole place. During the search, LaBelle learns about the name Dennis, which makes him understand. It is known that Jackal is currently using this name. The Label immediately alerts everyone in Paris and places an order. Keep an eye on every hotel, lounge, farmhouse, and if you see any suspicious person, catch him immediately. Spread this news everywhere. He tells that if there's any booking or entry in the name of Dennis, then catch him. But Jackal is very clever. He directly goes to a Turkish bathhouse and befriends a man so that he can take shelter there. Smart and scary. On the other hand, Label taps the calls of all the people sitting in that meeting with the minister. He is staying there, where he comes to know that a girl named Denny lives in the house of a minister named Street Claire. She is passing all the information to the OS people, due to which she warns Jackal in advance. That is why they are not able to catch him. And when St. Clair learns of this, he takes a large number of pills and kills himself. Wow, that escalated quickly. He tells everyone that the president fought in World War II, so he will definitely come to give a speech on Liberation Day. This is the best chance Jackal has to kill the president. So LaBelle speaks with the police and increases security everywhere to prevent anyone from getting close to the president. He should not even come near him. On the other hand, Jackal also kills a man at whose place he was staying, so that he does not leave any evidence behind. Cold. Finally, Liberation Day arrives. LaBelle finds no trace of Jackal, so he orders everyone to check the IDs of everyone entering the place. Make sure no one comes in without checking their ID. Then, we see Jackal disguised as a handicapped veteran who comes to the guard with a new name. He tells the guard, saying that he is from here, and goes straight inside. Smooth. Meanwhile, Label was keeping an eye on everything, but he did not see anything wrong. He doesn't see it, but he knew that something bad is going to happen today. So he talks to all the guards one by one. Only then, one of the guards tells him that a lame old man has just entered the building, whose window is open. Label is completely shocked. He understood this is Jackal, and he will soon shoot the president. Label quickly runs away from police. He runs toward the room with the man, where Jackal was sitting ready to aim at the president. He fires, but at the same time, the president awards a freedom fighter. He bends down to deliver the shot, which causes him to miss the first shot, and the bullet passes over his head. Phew, that was close. Jackal takes the second shot. He reloads his gun and gets ready, when LaBelle and a policeman arrive there, and Jackal shoots the policeman. Oh no! Finding an opportunity, Labelle takes a policeman's automatic gun and kills Jackal. It's over. London police soon solve the case. It closes because Jackal was not an Englishman, but a Frenchman. Wait, what? Jackal was buried in an unknown grave in an unknown place in Paris. He is buried forever. So friends, today's movie ends with this. So how did you like this story? Do tell us in the comments. The rest is up to you. Please share your suggestions with us in the comments. See you next time.